I was a sixth grade science teacher in Atlanta, and so I think we were just going about our normal stuff. I imagine we did talk about the fact that there was a teacher, going into space for the first time. It was big news. Everybody was, it was in the newspapers and all that kind of stuff. So yes, people were talking about it, and we knew that it was coming up.
Well, today we're just going to send up the balloons. We thought that would look nice, and maybe she can even see them. And we hope to put the banner that's now in the cafeteria outside so everyone can see it.
What does the banner say?
It says, "We're with you, Krista."
I was in a middle school teacher, so I was there were not very many males in the middle school, and so there were a lot of female teachers. So it was kind of a big deal that this female teacher was going up into space.
I would like to humanize the space age by giving a perspective from a non-astronaut, because I think the students will look at that and say, this is an ordinary person. This ordinary person is contributing to history, and if they can make that connection, then they're going to get excited about history, they're going to get excited about the future, they're going to get excited about space.
So we were all sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden we weren't sure exactly what happened, right? Nobody could have imagined that the space shuttle was blowing up. So we saw something go wrong, but we weren't sure what it was for quite a while. So it was, curiosity. We were curious, but it was kind of shocking. Everybody was looking forward to it, everybody was watching it, and all of a sudden, poof, it sort of disappears. I just think we told them there was, probably at that point, we were probably didn't tell them because we didn't know exactly, right? So right when it happened, we knew something happened, but so everybody was still sort of hopeful, maybe what we saw wasn't real, or somehow something happened and there could be some possibilities. So we just told them, hey, something went on with the space shuttle. There was some kind of explosion, and so we're not sure what happened. Let's wait and see what we hear from NASA, when they make an announcement about that kind of thing.
The astronauts, but also an enormous shock to the manned space program, which before today had gone so well. Never before have American lives been lost in flight.
They gathered for what turned out to be their last meal at 6:48 this morning, the ceremonial breakfast. For months, they had trained together. Astronaut Ellison Onizuka from Hawaii, the star of this mission, New Hampshire schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe, mission commander Dick Scobie, pilot Michael Smith, astronauts Judith Resnick and Ronald McNair, and payload specialist Gregory Jarvis.
I remember the picture of them showing the mother and thinking, oh, this is not fair. Like, they shouldn't do that because, who knows the emotions that were going through this mom's face as she sees something potentially tragic happening, and even though she doesn't know what's going on, she's thinking the worst. So, yeah, I do remember that. We had studied space that year, and it talked about exploration and all that kind of stuff. Again, nothing up to this point. There weren't any disasters that had happened, so it was just shocking and surprising that this had happened. So, I think that reality of how dangerous what they were choosing to do was. But again, this was the first time that happened. So I don't know if my kids had said, I'm going to be an astronaut, and then they were like all rethinking things and saying, oh, maybe, I didn't realize, things could go wrong. Perhaps that was going through kids' heads, because it was sort of this big glorified thing before that, because everything had gone so smoothly. So at that point, I'm imagining they might have been thinking, okay, this is dangerous and scary, and maybe I don't want to be an astronaut anymore.
And I want to say something to the school children of America who were watching the live coverage of the shuttle's takeoff. I know it's hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of the process of exploration and discovery. It's all part of taking a chance and expanding man's horizons. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. The Challenger crew was pulling us into the future, and we'll continue to follow them. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us by the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them, this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye, and slipped the surly bonds of Earth to touch the face of God. Thank you.